Hey guys, how's it going? Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. This afternoon here, gotta go mow some barley down that we have out for cover crop. Before I do that, there's a couple knives here on the disc bind. It's been up a little bit. My pap was mowing some rye this morning. Evidently caught a couple rocks or something, so not a big deal. We'll just change them out. So the original plan was to mow pretty much all the cover crops down that we're gonna be harvesting. We had some acres of rye out. My pap mowed them this morning, and then we put some barley out last fall. We gotta mow it and bale it and wrap it just like we do the rye. I guess we'll see how that turns out for us. But we gotta mow that off, and then I believe Friday we're gonna try to bale it. That didn't happen because the disc bind's all messed up, and there's these here shoes or whatever you want to call them that go on the front to keep from busting the cutter bar up there, because if you run it without them, you hit a rock or something, it's gonna bust things up on back there. And both skid plates are still there, but broke the bolts right off. The only problem we got, this bolt just broke off in the threads here, so I'm gonna try to drill that out and use one of these here easy outs, see if I can get it out. I don't know, I doubt it's gonna work, but I guess it's worth a shot. Couldn't get this thing drilled out, didn't figure. I did get somewhere with it, I will at least say that. Hey guys, how's it going? Today is Friday, May 12th, 2023. Yesterday my dad and pap had got all the rye acres baled up, and then yesterday I got home from school. I helped haul the bales off. Pap and I were hauling them off, and then I loaded the wrapper last night. It was after 9 o'clock till he was able to come, so it was a pretty late night. Get done last night. I didn't film anything, but today we had filled up barley that my dad and pap had got baled up, and the bales are out here, and we're actually wrapping them ourselves with the individual wrapper on the Gale skid loader. So I'm gonna head out there now. My pap is out there wrapping right now, so I imagine he's probably ready to quit, so I'm gonna take over and got all those bales wrapped there. I believe there's like 50 some. On the beginning of this video, I was gonna mow, and then the disc bind was broke down. Some of them things were broke off. Well, the next day, that evening, we actually got that disc bind fixed. The next day, my pap went to mow, and one pin fell out of the cutter bar that holds the cutter bar up in. So I had to fix that. He went back down the field to mow again, and the one gearbox went out, and the head kind of flew apart there. And then there was a bearing that went out on the roll, so the disc spine basically took another fit again. So dumped a bunch of money into that thing again, and got it back up and going. So we didn't get all the cover crops made yet. We would have liked to, but whenever the disc spines broke down, it's kind of hard to do so. Calling for rain tomorrow, tonight into tomorrow, so we'll see what we get. Hopefully next week we can get the rest of the cover crop made. We need to get alfalfa in, but the problem is the strips that have cover crop in are the strips that need alfalfa put in. So in order to get the alfalfa sowed, we have to get the cover crops off the field. We need to get this 2294 back together. Had to get a new radiator for it. It's sitting there. It's got new tires. The engine was just rebuilt on it, so yeah, that thing should be like a new tractor here shortly. I think I got the 4-ways working on it. I unhooked the headlights. I think they're drawing too many amps and blowing the fuse, so we'll see if that's the problem or not. If it is, I'll have to get some LEDs to put in there. So that rye actually made 87 bales. We had wrapped them last night. Got the custom wrapper to come inline wrap them. Today we had, like, I believe 50 some. We did it ourselves. With this wrapper here's wrapped a lot of hay. With the skid loader, it's converted over. It's actually a 3-point hitch wrapper converted over for the skid loader. You got your controls here, and it runs off the auxiliary hydraulics. So basically you just have to keep pressure there, and then you run these ones for the arm, and it spins the rolls to wrap the bale, and then ones for this the wrap goes under to tear it, and then the other lever spreads the rolls out whenever you go to get a bale and get rid of a bale. It takes a lot longer because you're wrapping the whole bale instead of the outside of it in them tubes. You save a lot of wrap in those tubes, but they take up more space. If you wrap the whole bale individually, you can stack them on top of each other. You can't do that with those tubes, so that's the downside to it. But the upside to that is it doesn't take near amount of time, and you're not burning quite as much fuel. It may cost a little bit more for us, but maybe someday we can own one of those wrappers. I think it would pay for itself really quick. Hey guys, how's it going? Today is Monday the 15th of May here. Got mowed some wheat down here this afternoon, so gotta go ahead and place 2 knives there on the disc spine that are bent up. So after we get that done, we can hopefully go mow. Got those knives replaced. Just heading out here right now for disc spine. We're actually mowing down the field we call the flat. Some wheat out here we want to mow. There's actually, I believe there might be some barley there too. I don't know. It's all getting mowed. I've haven't mowed some of it here today while I was in school. He also finished mowing down the barley over at the chicken houses over there at the neighbor's place. So yeah, hopefully we can get this knocked down here. And it's pretty hot out today. Hopefully it dries down good and get her baled up tomorrow. We'll see though. Lately things haven't been going as planned like usual, so I guess we'll see when the time comes. We're mowing. So this field here is actually, it comes straight out. It runs with the other strips. It also comes around this bend of trees here. The piece that runs that way, we call that the flat, and then the piece that offsets comes around the trees here, we call that the knob. So that's what we got mow off here now. After I get this done, it'll be just straight back and forth out through the field. tall stuff here is the rye, and then this stuff here is the barley. I think I'm correct. But this stuff here should have been harvested earlier because it comes on and matures a lot faster. You don't have a very wide harvest window for that stuff, so it's kind of hard to make around this time of the year. Now barley is a little bit different. It doesn't mature, it doesn't come on until later on, just like wheat. So that stuff's kind of nicer, but barley and wheat doesn't have the protein levels that the rye does. Which the heifers like it anyhow. That's what we're making this for, the heifers. We don't feed any of that to the cows. If we had a better way of feeding the rye, we probably would feed it to the cows. But we round bale all our stuff. If we could chop it and then add so much of it in each day, it'd be alright. But too much of it will knock the butter fat test on the cows. The cows will milk like crazy, but you just won't get the butter fat out of them. So yeah, it's kind of pick one or the other there. If you got cows that are milking really good, a lot of times your butter fat will drop down a little bit. The cows slow up, your butter fat tends to raise up. So that's why the milk company, they don't just pay for how many pounds you ship, they also pay for, you know, components in the milk. Started putting these LEDs on this tractor. We got the ones on the cab there. Took some modifications to get the brackets to work because the way that the back of the cab is there. So got set for the rear here and a set for the front. The ones in the hood, I'll probably pass on them for right now. Like $100 and some bucks a piece. The one doesn't work, so hopefully you can get a bulb to put in that and fix it. If not, I guess have to break the bank and get some LEDs for it or something. Got the knob mowed off up here, working it back and forth here now. There was a field of barley here, this strip that goes out, the lower strip. These two strips here are corn. Actually, there's two alfalfa strips up there at the top, if you can see the real green stuff. The rest of that's corn. And we got this alfalfa strip here at the bottom. We farm in strips to kind of prevent erosion, because on this hill, if you don't have something established there that's got good roots, that's got to hold the soil in place, you get a hard rain, it's just got to wash out. So we plant alfalfa in just about every other strip. Now one of these cornfields here will eventually get put back in alfalfa, but we'll farm them in corn here again this year. And then every so often we'll take a strip of alfalfa out in place of corn, and then seed new alfalfa and strip those corn in the previous year. Just you get better yields off of it if you rotate the crops and not having one crop growing in there at one time. So this alfalfa here is actually looking really good. It was new seeding last year. It's not coming out and blossom yet. It's not shooting blossom, but it probably will be at the end of this week. So once we get this cover crop knocked off here, we'll probably get the corn planter hooked up, do some no-tilling, then we got some more tillage to do, and then we'll have that alfalfa to make there sometime. So got plenty of stuff to go around to keep busy. Got 3 more weeks of school left. After I get that done, then things will ease up a little bit. Have 3 people working instead of just 2. So we had some old rye from last year that we put out, and it didn't really come, so we come through and see the barley in here. So right here is the barley, and then this here is the rye. You see how thin that stuff was. It didn't come very good, but there's a nice stand of barley here, right here in the middle of the field. Get towards the other end out there, it's not quite as good. Right here in the middle of the field, it's actually pretty decent, so it'll probably yield pretty good. mowing, you don't always end up with a perfect 10-foot swath with a disc vine at the end. So what you do is you just run normal and then have your far end of the disc vine overlap, because if you have this end overlap, it'll pull the hay in or whatever you're mowing, and it'll just tangle it all up. So depends on the way the knives are spinning there, it'll be throwing the hay out. It's overlapping over there. This side here would be pulling it in. So that's why whenever we overlap, we just mow like we always do. Finished mowing that out there. Brought the tractor and disc vine down back. Just gotta unhook it because I didn't realize we had more to mow tomorrow. I didn't think we were gonna mow it, but I guess we are. So I'll let that sit there, and we gotta go grab some supper quick, and then Dad and I are gonna put the front end back together on the 2294. Used 2290 to bale here last week because 2294 needed a radiator. Got that put in, and then the front end was rubbing here where the hub pivots here on the axle. It needed new bearings in here where the kingpins go down through. You can't get kingpins anymore for these, so we had a neighbor fix the one up that was messed up. Top one was fine, but the bottom one wasn't. So got new bearings and seals and stuff to put in there, and then hopefully get that thing back together and get it on the baler tomorrow, because we'll need 2290 to haul bales. Morning. It's 2 days after I filmed last. This morning here, got the chores all done. Cows are fed, calves are fed. My dad had to take a bull calf to the sale barn, so he's doing that right now. And my pap got the rest of the cover crop mowed. We had some barley down the road, needed mowed. Finally got that mowed, because I feel like every day since we've been using the disc vine, there's been at least something that needs replaced on it or fixed. So this morning it was a piece on top of the turtle shell, and then a skid plate on the bottom of the cutter bar. So finally got that done. Now I'll have to deal with it during alfalfa. I wish we'd just get a new one here and get rid of that piece of junk, because it's causing more headaches than it needs to be. So my pap went out to the flat to rake the stuff that I mowed in the previous clips here. That was barley. Hoping to get that baled up here today. So I'm gonna use the 2290 again. It's already hooked up, ready to go. The 2294, we had put it on the baler yesterday, but something's wrong with the exhaust temperature. I think it might be the sensor, or it's either the board in the tractor, I'm not sure. But it keeps flashing and beeping, saying the exhaust is above temperature where it needs to be. It's too hot. I have to figure that out. It does it when the tractor's cold, like you fire it up and then it comes on. So you know, the engine's not even warm enough to make the exhaust hot, and it still comes on. So it almost has to be a sensor. But anyhow, that's on the bale wagon. We'll use it to haul bales. Got them new tires, the new cleats. That thing will pull the bales good. We used it yesterday, and we used this to bale again. We have been using it to bale because the 2294 had some work that needed done on the front end, and need to tighten this chain up. It's too much slack, so just gotta take this nut off, and then that'll allow me to tighten the chain up, all the chains, grease it, fill the tractor up with diesel fuel, and then hopefully we can head to the field. Got that chain tightened and got the baler and the tractor all greased. I need to check the oils on that. Almost forgot to do that. She's full. Check the motor quick. Straight on full too. Haven't put any oil in this tractor since I changed the oil, so that's a good thing it's not using oil, because it does now and then go out that a little bit. But you're gonna have that with any old piece of equipment. 2290 used to do all the round baling. Before the round baler had a square baler, and the 2090 ran that. So yeah, that was back in her younger days, and she used to bale all the time. She used to run the chopper. This used to be the workhorse, but now she's just getting a little slower in her old age. She ain't no spring chicken, but she still earns her keep. Well, that thing's filling up. I need to check the net wrap. We have a new roll there. I gotta see how much is in here. Oh yeah, we still got a good bit. This tractor needs a new seat. Well, a new seat cushion, the bottom and the back. Now to replace them, you might as well buy a whole new seat and stick in here, an air ride seat. But yeah, this thing could use a cab kit, a seat, needs the air condition fixed. Maybe a new plastic piece here. I believe you can probably still get them. But yeah, it's just getting a little wore out. Maybe someday we can get her fixed up and redo the whole thing. on there, things are going good, and then the baler got plugged up, so it took like an hour or so to get that unplugged, and it sucked. It was really tight. Yeah, I guess I should have been going a little slower, and couldn't really see because the sun was glaring on the back window, and stuff just pulled right in there and plugged up. I couldn't get a bale started for some reason, and that's why it plugged. Neighbors, they're over there hauling the north, and another local guy, he's here disking it in for him. He's got a 2394 case international tractor, so I did get a little bit of video of that with the drone. I was filming Dad, but she's right on full. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, and that tractor really sounded good. Good old 8.3 under the hood. We're gonna be hauling the bales in, and there used to be 2 rows of, I believe it was low quality alfalfa. Fed it to the heifers, and we're just gonna put them there. Finishing out this video here by feeding the cows, mixing feed for them right now. So I have the skid loader and getting silage up on top of the hill. We got all the bales off down there, got them hauled in, just need to get them wrapped. He can't come till about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, so I think I gotta call it quits for this video. I think I got enough footage, and I'm not gonna film any wrapping. But we have this row here is rye. We have the tubes going out across the top of the hill, and then the second row over there, that's barley. All right, well, thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. That really helps me out. I do apologize for not being able to upload very often, about once a week. That's all I have time for. Once school ends here and home a lot more, I should be able to crank out a couple videos a week as long as I'm making them. Yep, hope you can understand, and I appreciate it. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.